My philosophy is if I can build it, I can break it, and I can fix it. So I try not to be afraid. Okay. My name is James Pearson, and my hobby is making acoustic stringed instruments. I've been making instruments for 11 years now. I've made things that are basically in the guitar family, like steel string guitar, nylon string guitar, and ukulele. There are different sizes of ukulele. I've made a soprano, concert, and tenor ukulele. And then there are violin family instruments. And I've made a cello and 2 violins. So how did I get started with this? Is kind of a long story. Uh, the short answer is I suddenly one day just felt like I wanted a ukulele, but I didn't want to buy one. And I thought it might be a fun challenge to try making it completely from scratch without, with buying as little as I had to. I'm a musician, so I've been playing the cello since I was in 4th grade, so that's kind of like the longest thing that I've done. The main cello that I play is one that I made actually in 2018. And that was like another big leap for me, was building this cello. It took me a long time, and at the time I had already made guitars, but I thought this feels like it's twice as hard as making guitar. It's interesting because instrument making, it kind of gets you into a big variety of different kinds of wood that maybe I wouldn't normally even have known about. Um, Traditional, there's in lutherie, it can be very traditional for especially violins and even guitars. Um, I don't necessarily uh, I don't necessarily feel bound by those rules because I can do whatever I want. I can use some weird wood that I found and just try it and see. So I like that aspect of it. I like to use things that I found or things people gave me or stuff from around here if I can instead of something from far away. But yeah, actually, this guitar, um, all this maple with the stripes on it, that came from a board that was in this lumber mill around here, and I was there to buy something, and I was staring at this little board, and they're like, "Do you like that? You can have it." I was like, "Really?" So they gave me that, and I used it to do all the maple decoration, like the sound hole. And also, this is a piece from a friend's countertop that he made. He had a scrap, and I was like, this wood is like super hard. It's like rosewood, so it'd be perfect for a bridge. There can be a lot of specialized tools for instrument making. There's your basic woodworking tools like a handsaw, a chisel, a plane for cutting and shaping wood. But you do get into some particular tools that they're not all necessary, but sometimes they make it more fun and easier, and tools are cool. So I like making tools. It's Making tools is almost like the side hobby of my main hobby. So I've made a lot of clamps. I made a workbench, a tool chest, a bow saw, a couple planes. I've made handles, wooden handles for tools, turning. So the process of making, we'll take a violin for example, because violins and guitars are very similar but different in very interesting ways, but it would be a long story to go into all of it. First, you have to have your plans and patterns, and that's the whole thing. You have to either draw them yourself or get them from somewhere that someone's already made them, because a lot of these things are you can't really just wing it. So it's good to know certain measurements and angles you should have sorted out from the beginning. So then you have to get your wood together. And for this violin, actually, the fingerboard is ironwood that came from the woods around my family's camp. And the front is very special kind of spruce. and all the rest of it is curly maple. I build the neck first. This part from here back is the neck, and that's sawn out of a solid chunk, and then it's all carved out. You put holes in that the pegs are going to eventually go in, and also the base of the neck is formed so that it can join the body. It's tapered so that it fits right in there like a key. And then I build the body, and the way that's done, it starts with this, which is a violin mold. This is actually the mold I use for this instrument. So the ribs are built around this form. And once the rib structure is complete, you carefully pry it out of this. And then the top and the back are traced off the ribs. And then they're cut out and hollowed out and arched. And then the whole thing is glued together. And then that's just the building it part. After that, there's a whole varnishing part. Well, for a beginner who wants to get a taste of building an instrument, one way you could go is if you don't already have a lot of woodworking stuff. If you already are a big woodworker, then it's not too much of a stretch to build a ukulele. You could definitely do it. If you don't even have all that stuff and you're just getting started, one way you could go is there are a lot of kits that you can buy where there are various degrees of things that they've already done for you. So you can buy something that's almost already made, and all you have to do is you still have to assemble it, glue it together, sand it, and then you have to do all the fine tuning at the end to make it into an instrument. But you could go that way. You would still need the clamps though to put it all together. But there are places where you can buy that. You can buy the ribs already bent, so you don't have to do that. I would suggest start with something small, like I did, a ukulele. Big advantage is it's small. You can find small pieces of wood much more easily, and it's easier to get a handle on it.